Good morning, guys. If you know how this stuff works, then you would recognize that this isn't Kanban, right? XFA is gone. Wait, yes. Can we get a rest in peace for that XFA? That's my fault. I'll explain. I overtraded today. I had the wrong rise, two in a row, miss, and I will explain what I did wrong, how I'm learning. I'm going to tell you how you can because you can't learn from my mistakes, but I can. And I will, and I have, and I'm going to. So, um, I rushed it. I missed a good trade. Um, Trading during school is actually, I won't lie, a little bit of an inconvenience, but we pushed past. Um, and as one would say, we ball. So we did rush our trade today, and then after that, we over leveraged. Interesting. So, yeah, it sucks. So I just have like pimple down here. It's getting on my freaking nerves. So yeah, so we did lose today. Um, But I wouldn't call this just a losing day. I would call this a bad psych day. We rushed. I don't know why. I've been going a little bit through it, but that's no excuse for what happened today. So I'm not gonna just like sit here and tell you guys bullshit. I will tell you guys what I did wrong and what have because the strategy, like my strategy, honestly did good today. So that means yours truly, myself, is a bitch. So biggest mistake today was that when we went on the 4 hour, we saw this. Well, this. Well, this. It's basically a sweep of this time frame, and this also can be discussed as a fair value gap. So basically, we were bullish. Yes, I don't know. I don't know the bullshit with the had created. This might be a little bit. I'll explain. Of an SMT over here, well, in Nasdaq, you'll see we clearly did not take that out. So we were very bearish. Now I'm going to teach you guys one thing. When it comes to liquidity sweeps, this is much more reliable than these internal liquidities. That's part one. Part two is that these won't immediately hit. Okay? So just understand that when you're trading, don't trade huge for value gaps. Don't trade off of that. Get that as a bias. So a little bit bullish today, but at the same time, we can't discount the fact that we might be bearish, especially because if you go in the same 1 hour time frame, you can find a huge freaking for value gap. So what's the bias? You don't have one. So don't. So if you don't have like a huge internal bias, you know what that means? It means you cancel out both of these. You don't take off of basically this. No, we get a huge move up pre-market, and that can do something to someone, right? I would basically mark this out. I was like, holy shit, longs are super easy. 9:30, we have a huge move down. Literally, wait, literally the next second, we break structure right here and set up a really good long structure for a one-to-one retrace into this trade. Literally that easy. We missed it. We took a trade at 45 where we took these longs because we're like, well, damn. And we did take it too early, but we still had a break of structure, so this would have still missed. Understand that. Now, let me explain why this missed. Because I'm not a bitch. I'm not bitch enough not to explain. Let's get rid of this. I'll keep this. What this actually did was this is pretty good longs, easy longs. I will say we kind of swept something. We retraced into the zone and then we broke structure and inverse fair value gap. Good confirmation, decent entry off of this liquidity is technically liquidity still, but what we failed to discount, and I didn't look at this because I was rushing the trade, is this huge premium or discount or whatever you want to call it. It's an equilibrium basically. It taps into the 0.5. This fair value gap is at 15 and an hourly, and we just tap into it and have a perfect move down, which I didn't consider. So I immediately lost $1,000 on that trade. Yes, 1,000. Should I have been done for the day? Yes. At the same time, I was super bullish. So what did I do? I did something dumb, and I took another long at the wrong spot at the wrong time. It was over here. We come back down into this trade. we break structure, and I'm just super bullish. So I failed to see this for value gap. So what did I do? I did this, and I was like, why would we move down? We didn't take anything out. Again, this premium was sticking my ass. So we took another. It was just a $700 trade. Um, so we did lose that, and that's kind of how we lost our count today. What I failed to do was see that we were actually super bearish. We dip into this fair value gap. So yes, that those initial longs, decent longs. We had not like reacted to the 0.5. This doesn't tap the 0.5 of this zone, so we could still like be setting up for like even longer. And sure, even if we would have reacted off of this, let's just like half-ass this. You can see that when we go down, it's not super bearish immediately because even though we go in this fair value gap, we are retracing this premium to get higher into this equilibrium and also maybe 0.618 zone, which is why longs weren't the worst opportunity here. So this, I'm not going to say it's a bad trade because it's not. So off of this, I'm not going to LARP and say I would take it as soon as it retraced. No breaker structure, and the breaker structure occurs here. You go 1-to-1, and let me go back. Go 1-to-1. I would take it maybe at the bottom line here. 1-to-1 would have just swiped out. So really easy trade. Second, I'm just going to keep this here because this is just literally the model I should have taken. Second, we just took equilibrium out. Now, you should not have a bias. Not a bullish one, not a bearish one, because we did just go up, but it doesn't mean that we're bullish, and we didn't even take anything out. So what would be ideal here is to, let me just double check ES, make sure that we didn't take anything. So we didn't take these low resistance liquidities, doesn't mean we're bullish. Back to NQ, we go down, doesn't mean we're bearish, doesn't mean we're bullish. So I wouldn't have taken trade off of either of these. Sure, this is a pretty decent retrace into equilibrium, but I just don't think it's a crazy trade. Maybe if you're feeling something, decent trade would have been, and only if this taps into this. So let me just double check. We go all the way up here, we tap at the 0.5, and then we go up. We have a inverse. So I usually wait for breaker structure, so I would have probably not taken on the inverse, but maybe I could see that someone taking this trade. Is this 1-to-1? No, this is 1-to-1. So 1-to-1 would hit, but realistically, you go off of confirmation, you're going to top tick this long, which isn't something you want to see. Top tick the long. And even if you did do that, this is actually something that would have happened. It did happen. What I would say is as soon as you miss this, you kind of got to understand that like we're breaking structure bearish. I did switch my bias like before. I took out early, and then I did too many cons bearish. I took shorts, and it just took me out, and I just lost the count. I would have maybe got my count back, but I'm glad I didn't because I did something dumb, and I didn't. Honestly, the only way to learn from lessons is to have that lesson occur. So that lesson definitely occurred. So break a structure right here. You take shorts. Set the stop loss at this peak because I don't like the fair value gap. It doesn't really tap in well at all. It actually inverses it. And then what am I doing? LARPing. No, only 1-to-1s for me. Maybe if let me see 2-to-1, or actually, yeah, down here, maybe up here, if you're feeling the LARP. 1-to-1 usually is what's safest, but I can understand 2-to-1s. This would be greedy. If you think it might be greedy, then don't take it. But if it makes some sense, then take it. Like for example, this one is off of literally nothing. And I know someone's gonna say, well, technically on the 1 hour we swept this, right? But this is such a high time frame that like right now it could still be reacting off of it, and taking those longs on 2RR would have made you lose this trade. I'm talking about this trade right here, right? So don't rely on that. Rely on shorter term time frames, because when you're like, oh, on the large time frame, it just hit this, so it's going to immediately go up. No, because it's such a high time frame that anything can happen in between this time frame, and it'll still react off of it. It just, you won't see it. Maybe we go up. Maybe we actually react off of this 1 hour bearish for value gap. So we just don't know what's going to happen. So don't do that. I.e., don't take trades off of just like, oh, it tapped into here, I'm going to immediately take longs. because this is a good situation on which like it did actually have a reaction shot off of it, but some of these just don't, like at all. So wait for at least a confirmation or a strong confirmation, i.e. like a 5 minute breaker structure, right? Fire. But this is kind of how this probably could have gone today. This is probably more realistic trade. I was in ceramics and building. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying this is what caused me to have a bad psychology, which in turn I did have a bad psychology, which I honestly was preventable had I not had a bad psychology. And that kind of just affected my trading. I lost today. It's okay. I'm not down in the dumps about it. I got a new combine. Um, we'll just be slow and steady with that. So we don't really need much. I'm gonna put this in number four. I have a new number four. I don't think this is like literally just copies of these other ones. So sorry if these seem like they're just copies of each other. They're not. But number four is definitely what I was talking about most of the focus on yourself um, video. It is you got to be okay with being alone because when you're okay with being alone, you know you're not dependent. I think it allows you to do what's best for you. And I know it sounds like, oh, focus on yourself. I think it's more so the lesson is to be better at being with yourself. Because it's such a hard thing that a lot of us struggle with. Like, oh, I'm so lonely. Well, that's gonna happen in life. You're gonna be lonely. You're not gonna be with people, and that's gonna have to be fine with you because you're not always gonna have people by your side. Especially sometimes you're gonna have people by your side, and that's gonna be a bad thing. And you shouldn't have these people by your side. But some people are so lonely that they need some sense of comfort, even though it's a double-sided sword. It's like a when people kind of harm themselves, not self-harm, and not harm like they kind of harm themselves. They're doing bad things for them, even though like they know it's bad for them, because it kind of brings them a sense of relief, like vaping maybe. Um, I think being with people who aren't good for you, it's just one of those things. I think it's like vaping. You gotta acknowledge that this might not be what's best for you, and you kind of gotta slowly back away. And the hardest part about this is that this is even something that like you'll see commercials online about stop vaping. It's so bad for you. There's chemicals because there's no chemicals with being with people that will make you suddenly you know get cancer, but it can prevent your success. It can prevent you doing what you need to do, whether that be schoolwork for you or maybe good psychology and trading, which not for me. I'm just saying that maybe making a business, right? You're hanging out with them way too much. You're not focusing on you. That e-com store that you're trying to get done, right? So be better at being alone. I think is a huge one. I'm practicing this one right now. I will say from actual personal experience, not an easy thing to do. All right, so I'll say good luck, motherfuckers. Karma, America explained. No, I'm just joking. Um, so we're about to go hit back and buy. We came home early to collect this. Yes, we collected the iPhone 17. It's pretty calm. I like it. I haven't even tested it or opened it or anything. But my phone is, if you can see, my hair's freaking shattered into a million pieces. Look at this. Shattered into a million pieces. The case is barely fitting on right. My battery's cooked. Oh, then I was gonna say I was gonna shower today because my hair's frizzy. I'll do that when I get home and shave whatnot, relock in. But I don't really care about how I present myself at the gym. We came home to grab this because I don't want it to get stolen, and I think it's pretty cool. This isn't an unboxing though, so I'll probably just end the video now. I'll put this shit back on. Thanks for watching. Honestly, think about the things I said, especially when it comes to not just this, but this, right? Learn from your lessons. Don't just take every loss in steed. Don't storm through it. I'm trying to be patient, right? So like even like this wasn't like a cause of me slowly losing one, and then eventually like just stopping out. Like we were doing good, right? We were actually being consistently good, but one day is all it really takes to kind of fuck that up. And I know for a fact that I'll tell you guys, I'm not gonna let this change my psychology, which is why I'm making these videos. I'm going to keep myself responsible through these videos. I'm going to stick consistent, right? Tomorrow, if I get on and I say, "Oh, I lost one trade," that doesn't mean that I'm off track. If tomorrow if I get on and I say, "Wow, I traded like same I did yesterday," that I would have double check me. I would, unsubscribe. I have no subscribers, by the way. But I think I'm kind of making myself make sense. Like, take these losses instead, be the same person that you are. Because honestly, we shot through that combine. We shot through it. It took us 3 days. We didn't take any losses. It's kind of like just keep that up. Keep the money out of it. Is it one I will say, because since this is my trading account, I can talk about whatever I want. Is the money is kind of hard not to think about for me right now. Maybe I'll put this on a 10, but it's specific to trading. Um, I'm around people who are kind of like super focused on like needing this money. It's like when you're, I think, in a group like that, it's less so like a haha, I want to grow because these people are so locked in on money. More so, these people are so dependent on money, it kind of affects how you think. I think it should be less so like money should be more something that you are willing to grind for, but not like kind of be loud about. Which is why I don't really talk to anyone about this account. Uh, and that's my personal opinion on it. I'm not going to tell anyone else what to do, but I'll tell you guys what I think about it. So I also got the bans in yesterday. This is why I had to rush the account. I mean, rush the video. Sorry about that. These freaking hurt, which is why I'm also kind of tired. Like they're literally killing me from the inside out. So flip, but it's okay. I'll probably be fine. Made me get shitty sleep last night. Really shitty. I went to sleep at 12. I gotta wake up at like 7. Mm, okay, I'm gonna hit this back day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I won't do bad. I'm telling you guys, I'm no jinxing. I'll knock on wood for the sake of it, for the fun of the game. But I'm telling you guys, this is all psychology. This day could have been won. Should have been won. We'll learn from our lessons. I mean, for example, one huge thing I'll just say before I exit the video, and I already went over this, so if you don't want to hear this, leave. But um, the two things that should be taken away from this video is that when you see something on a large time frame, don't just immediately like take off of it. You gotta like understand that there's things that can go in between this time frame. Like it might have just reswept this and gone up. But I know someone took a trade like this, right? Retraces, take the stop loss here. Maybe didn't even move to break even and just expected it to shoot up. But no, it's such a large time frame that you can't do something like that. And even for like this 1 hour, I wouldn't consider this a 1 hour because this barely shows on the 1 hour. Go down the 15 minute, it's much more clear to see that this is a equilibrium on a shorter time frame, which is very abundantly clear. Also a 15-minute fair value gap, as well as a 3, 5, 1 minute fair value. I don't know if it's a 1 minute fair value gap too. Um, I think this made it very more obvious that it was a short stay, not a long stay. We might go back up because we swept this, but or we might just ignore it. We ignored this one. I don't really know right now, but we'll see. Tomorrow we got some news. Push past. We'll be alright. We be alright. I'll see y'all. That's it. Boom shakalaka.